What's up, everybody? It's your boy Petty King, and I'm here to have a conversation around season 16, episode 9, Blame It on the Henny. Now, in the episode where we lost Kenya, the views were around 500,000, which is low. They raised up to 600,000 this episode. I think the raise in the viewership is coming from the resident new queen bee, Angela Oakley. Now, this may be a surprise, because when the season first started out, she kind of eased into the edit. Also, it didn't help that her wig looked like she threw it into the air and told her head to catch it. They weren't really focusing on her like that. I feel that the producers thought that the viewers were gonna want to see more of a niece energy, more of a youthful vibe, the vibe that Shamia, Portia, Drew, Brit, and Kelly bring to the situation. With them wearing provocative clothing, twerking, screaming, having fun, taking shots. We can see that on Baddies or Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. That's not what we watch Real Housewives of Atlanta for, actually, though. We watch Real Housewives of Atlanta because we want to see the craggly auntie vibe. That's right, we want the no-nonsense, craggly woman who will read you, fulfill, get you together, and who is not about the foolishness. That's the vibe that Angela brings, apart from all the other women on the cast. And then the second resident auntie is Cynthia. But Cynthia gives the cool, laid-back auntie, you know, the one you can kind of get advice from. She's not really going to get it crunk. Now, she can, don't get me wrong. But Angela is the one that's bringing that energy all by herself at this point. The other auntie that we lost was Kenya. We could have had Kenya and Angela together. We would have had a great season. But we lost Kenya early on in the season. So that's why everyone's starting to gravitate towards Angela right now. Because we watched for the craggly auntie energy. Nene had that energy. Candy had that energy. Sheree, Marlo. There's so many other examples. Kim Zolciak also had it as well. These older women who are about business, who are not about having fun all the time, and who are going to get people together with their one-liners. We're seeing Angela show that energy so much. First, when they're by the pool twerking in their bathing suit and their pasties or whatever they had on, Angela had on her pajamas, spying on them at the window. That's the difference in energy right there. Then she went down there to confront Portia about Portia saying that she would sleep with her husband. The viewers weren't really feeling this coming from Portia. I mean, come on, with her history and the way things have gone, it just paints her in a bad light. But it puts Angela in a good light. It's showing that she's not about the foolishness. She's gonna go confront things head on. Then the next day when Kelly came to her all bubbly, she said, "I don't wanna be fake with you, get out of my face." This is the type of energy we wanna see when we watch the show. Then she easily cleared Brit at the end of this episode, saying that her mouth had stretch marks around it. Then we have Cynthia set up these one-on-one meetings in which she brought in Portia first, and then she brought in Shamia second to meet with Angela to try to make things right. It literally came across like Cynthia was the assistant principal, bringing the students, Portia and Shamia, in to meet with the principal, which was Angela Oakley. So they're not even noticing. You're setting Angela up to be the head chick in charge. And on Twitter, people have even edited Angela into older seasons. She gives us that classic era of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to move on to Brit and her family. First and foremost, listening to Brit speak is like nails on a chalkboard. She really needs to get some Mucinex or whatever she needs to do to clear out her sinuses. However, when we get to this scene with Brit and her family showed up. Her sister stole the scene, and the younger sister just burst into tears and was saying, "How could you shut me out?" You literally felt for her in that moment. When you saw the mom and the younger sister arguing with each other, that looks like any other typical family argument that you may have in real life. When the grandma stepped up with some wisdom, that was another archetype that we see in our communities and in our own families. So shout out to Brit's family. That was a nice scene. I also want to point out that Kelly's dog is ugly. The dog looks a mess with all those colors and all those leopard prints and all those things on it. I almost want to call Peter to report a crime. Before I get on out of here, I want to make a couple of comments about Love Hotel. It comes on right after, so I sat down and I watched it. Giselle and Ashley, you're coming across as a bunch of gold diggers. Shannon is the only one who comes across as very genuine. and you're really invested in her actually finding love. I think she's actually there to find a partner, whereas Luann just looks like a loose, wild, free-spirited party girl. Also, Ashley, we're gonna be upset with you if you don't pick the chocolate brother. Also, I want to speak a little bit about Basketball Wives. I just want to say that I don't think Jen should be mad at Evelyn for doing a background check on her husband. We know Jen's history as far as picking guys. She's been scammed before. She also ended up with the barrel hip guy with those childbearing thighs, Tim from Sweetie Pies, and we see where he is now. She also had that terrible looking husband who threw a drink in her contacts. So I think Evelyn's being a good friend by doing a background check, and she just really wants to protect Jen from being scammed again. I think Evelyn just has to work on her tone and her delivery. She's coming across so harsh and so mean about it, so Jen can't quite receive the message. I just want to say thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I'm growing so much. I don't take that for granted. All right, y'all, have a good night. Bye.